Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Said Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you have time, please give this video a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who needs to hear this, and if you have time, drop us a comment in the comment section. I would like to know, have any of you been in the situation I'm going to discuss? And what did you do, or what would you do if it was you? So let me tell you what happened, right? There was this question going around the internet, and somebody sent it to me and asked me my thoughts on it. Basically, what it said was that there was a woman who went to the Super Bowl with this guy. Some guy, I don't know any details like how long did she know him or anything like that. All I know is some dude took her to the Super Bowl and paid for everything. I mean, the airfare, the accommodations, the drinks, entry into the club, her food. He paid for everything. So you and I both know tickets, so you and I both know this probably cost him thousands of dollars. I'm thinking like $4,000 or $5,000 easy, with tickets, airfare, accommodations, tickets. Come on, like that is expensive. So homeboy put out all this cash and took this girl. They get to Miami. I think that's where the Super Bowl was. And homegirl was mingling with other people, just kind of doing her thing. I don't know. It sounded like to me like she might have even been doing some flirting. I don't know, because he was kind of irked by this whole thing. So I don't know if he was just a jealous, crazy kind of dude, or if she was just being blatantly disrespectful. Either way, she was mingling with other people and she was not intimate with him. Okay? He obviously had the expectation that they were going to have sex. So what ended up happening was, when it was time to leave, he checked out the hotel and told her that he canceled her return ticket, her airplane ticket, and she needed to find out how she's getting home. Deuces. Okay? Now, the person that sent this to me asked me, who was wrong in this situation? What did I see in this situation? And I said to him, they're both wrong. They both dead wrong in this situation. And I'm going to tell you why. She's wrong because I don't care what she say. She knew he had the expectation of sex. I don't care what she say. She can say she didn't know, or he was just my friend. Come on. Why do you think he invited you, of all people, to go and spend thousands of dollars? He expected it to be a romantic getaway, or, some form of sex, something. He expected something. Now, do you have to put out because somebody expects? Male or female? Hell no. Hell no. You didn't have to put out. She didn't have to put out. But she knew that sex was the expectation. That's where she played herself. If you know somebody wants to be intimate with you and you don't want to be intimate with them, why would you let them spend thousands of dollars and fly you to another state without having the return ticket yourself, which he could have still canceled because it was on his card? That doesn't make any sense. So my thing is that first and foremost, the expectations should have been discussed. And I feel like, as a woman, I may not have known that was his expectation, but I would have think, it's a 50-50 chance that's his expectation. Because some people have done a lot of nice things for me. I mean, oh my God, nice. People have sent me donations. People have sent me gifts. Even before Asking Aquarius, when I was a high school teacher, people's parents have sent me presents for Christmas. People have done a lot of nice things for me in my lifetime and didn't expect anything from me. Even I've had lovers do that before. They weren't lovers, but they wanted to be lovers, So I've had things like this happen a lot. So I'm not saying that everybody that gives you anything is trying to get something from you. That's not the truth. I've had people give me so many wonderful gifts and I didn't have anything to give them. And they gave them to me anyway, just because they wanted to out of the kindness of their heart. So I'm not saying that that's impossible to happen, but I'm saying it's highly unlikely in a scenario like this. So when he asked her to go to the Super Bowl, all expenses paid, I would have thought in my mind, homeboy trying to smash. For those of you who don't know slang, homeboy's trying to have sex. I would have thought in my mind immediately and been like, if I'm willing to have sex with him, or if I want to have sex with him, maybe I'll go. You know? And if I don't want to have sex with him, this is not a good idea. Not because you owe him sex, because you don't owe anybody sex. Nobody, male or female. I don't care if y'all have had sex 27 times. Let me tell y'all something. I've had people in my bed and put them out. If you do something to turn me off while we're getting into the groove, I'll put your ass out. I will get up and put my clothes on and leave the room and be like, you gotta go. You don't owe anybody sex. Not in the least bit. But you also don't take an invitation knowing that you don't want to or might not want to have sex with them. That's not the kind of invitation that you take. You take an invitation to get some ice cream, you know, something like that. He could have raped her. He could have killed her. Luckily, all he did was leave you stranded. At least you got your life. So my thing is that she should have never accepted that invitation. And even if she wanted to sleep with him and didn't have any money and knew she was going to go anyway, you always make sure you have somebody that you can trust that will wire you some cash if you get into a bad situation, if you don't have money. My mom always said, don't go anywhere without money. Don't go anywhere with anybody without money. But to be honest with you, when you're broke, that's not realistic. Because you're going to be going places and people are going to be like, well, I'll treat you. It happens all the time. If you can have some money, that's better. But if you don't, you don't. How many times have you not had money and somebody treated you to something? It happens all day. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she needed somebody around who could wire her some money. And if you knew that that was not the case, then you should not have went. You don't have no money. There's an expectation of sex. You don't know if you want to have sex or not, or you don't want to, one or the other. All of this was known before she got on the plane. And then you take your happy ass to Miami with him, flirt and mingle all up in other dudes' faces. I bet you. I don't know that part. That's just my imagination on that part. But what it was said, the facts are she was mingling and was not intimate with him. So you're mingling with other people. He brought you there to be his companion. So now you're mingling with other people, and now he knows that he put out all this cash and he's not getting any sex. So my thing is no, he did not deserve sex. And that's where he was wrong. Because straight up, if he felt as though he wanted to take a woman for a romantic getaway, he should have said that up front. His expectations should have been on the table. You don't just ask somebody to go and just expect or hope that they'll put out. You don't do that. You say to them before you make the reservations, I would like us to have a romantic getaway. I've never been intimate with you, or I've been intimate with you and I would like to be intimate. You state straight up your intentions. Don't beat around the bush with it. Say what you want. That way she can be like, well, I'm not really feeling it like that. And you can ask somebody else. Because I'm sure he could have asked 25 other women who would have been happy to go and probably would have been happy to be intimate with them if he had been honest about his expectations. So I feel like they were both wrong. And that's where the problem comes in at. Now, like I said, he could have killed her. He could have, he could have did anything to her. Thank God all he did was leave her stranded. And that's the other place where he's dead wrong. I would never leave a woman stranded in the middle of the hotel lobby in Miami. I would have never done that to a person. I would have taken her back the way that we came together, and I just would have left her alone. You've already spent the money, homeboy. The weekend is over, the whole weekend is shot. You already spent the money. The money is not coming back, you see? So me personally, I just would have got her home and left her alone. If you felt, because to me, it feels like he felt played. You know, he felt like she went knowing the expectation, and then through, mingled and flitted around with other people, was not a companion to him, and they weren't intimate, which was his expectation. So it feels like, to me, he feels played. And like I said before, I would not have done that. No, you don't owe somebody sex, but you don't play with nobody's feelings either. You don't lead them on. Now, I would have told him up front, if you don't want to be with him, tell him up front. And that's where they made their mistakes at. They both made mistakes in this area. They weren't honest. They weren't upfront. And I don't know how the girl got home. I'm sure some kind of way somebody probably got her home. But the bottom line was that they both should not have done that. And she was in a very dangerous situation. One time, I went out. I've never had this exact thing happen to me, because when I was like 19, I had another situation happen. And I knew right then and there not to play these little games. I went on a date. I was cheating on my husband, okay? And I went on a date. My daughter was like 4 months old. I went on a date with this man to some restaurant. Now, mind you, my husband thinks I am with my friends and I'm off having a date. I go on a date with this fool. We sat there, had a great time. We were laughing, we were joking, we were drinking. We ate good, okay? I had fajitas, triple fajitas, the ones with steak and shrimp. And chicken. They were so good. And we both had desserts. We ran up the bill to like $80, This was like 25 years ago, so it was like $80, maybe 60. So we sat there and ate and drank and laughed and joked. And then when it was time for the bill, the woman bought the bill and put it on the table. And he was like, oh, I forgot my wallet. And the way, now mind you guys, I was a drama major in high school and college. And the way he did it, it was just kind of over exaggerated. So I knew he was bullshitting. And he was just like, oh, damn. I forgot my wallet. And I was like, well, do you think it's in the car? And he was like, no, I think I left it on the dresser. And I'm Aquarius, so my brain has always been fast, and I was very manipulative back then. So I thought of this shit quick. So as soon as he said, no, it's at home, I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I just got paid. I got my MAC card. I'm going to go to the ATM and get some cash. Now, back then, your MAC card was not a credit card. Now you can pay for things at the restaurant with your cards. I would have got caught if this happened in present times, but this was 25 years ago. So I was like, I'm gonna go to the ATM and I'm gonna pay for everything. I'll treat this time, you can treat next time. And we can go over and catch a movie. He relaxed like, oh, this dummy fell for it. Like, he was so relaxed, I was like, finish your drink. I'm gonna go to the ATM. I'll be right back. I left out. I was shook. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? My daughter is 4 months old. I don't have $40. I got like $7 in my account. He invited me and told me he was treating me. So I didn't bring it. I didn't have any money. I'm going to tell you, when I was young, I was broke. Okay. I've increasingly made more money slowly as I got older. But when I was that young, 25 years ago, I was broke. Broke. And some of you out there know what I'm talking about. I was broke. So I did not have $40, $60, whatever the bill was. I didn't have it. I had like $7.15 on that card. And that wasn't going to get us very far. So I had a brand new baby. Like, what kind of jerk does this to a young girl with a baby? So I walked out. I'm salty. I don't know what to do. I said what I said to him to buy me some time to think of what to do. And I started walking towards the Mac machine. And then I remembered I had my trans pass. I had my bus pass on me. Child. I walked out and got the bus and took my ass home, okay? He didn't know where I lived. He didn't know my real name. I had met him on the party line. Remember, those of you who were, born in the 70s and 80s, you might remember the party line. I had met him on the party line. He didn't even know my real name. So I just got on the bus And by the grace of God, the bus pulled off like 5 minutes after I got on it. If I had left a minute later, I would have missed that bus and had to wait an hour and probably would have got caught. So I went home, and he called me on the party line, because the party line had a little thing where they leave a message. And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe, I mean, he was going off. He's like, I can't believe you did that. I could have got arrested. They looking for you. You can't never go back to that restaurant again, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, you'll be all right. Because I knew in my heart that he tried to play me, that he was trying to get me to pay for this big extravagant ass meal. And $60 really isn't extravagant, but to somebody who only got $7, it is. So I was just like, you'll be all right. But the bottom line was, that situation taught me that sometimes people will do fucked up shit to you. So to make sure that you have your own money to take care of yourself. And another thing, I was cheating on my husband. So let's imagine he really didn't have his wallet. Let's say he left it on purpose. I would have got caught, because I would have had to either call him, to get some money or something. I would have got caught, is the bottom line. So you putting me out there on Front Street about to get me caught when I'm trying to cheat. And I was just like, this is crazy. So again, we were both dead wrong. I was dead wrong for cheating and for being there in the first place. And he was dead wrong to try to play me for a free meal at Chili's. Like, come on. But the bottom line is when I experienced that, I realized that you have to really talk with people about expectations before you do go places and things like that. This young lady could have been in a really bad situation. So if you're a woman and you find yourself in a situation like this, where a gentleman wants to take you, or a woman, or whatever you're into, wants to take you someplace, and you're not sure about the expectation, or you're not comfortable with the expectation, you need to speak up, and you need to not take that invitation. Because I'm gonna tell you, it's nothing worse than having a man's grubby hands on you that you cannot stand. Somebody said underneath the comment section where I saw this at, because I saw this in a chat room and then somebody sent it to me. So when I saw it in the chat room, I read the comments to see what other people were saying. And somebody was like, she should have just gave it up. She should have just had sex with him. And I'm like, it's nothing worse than a person, not even just a man, a person's grubby hands on you that you don't want to be intimate with. So I can't say, oh yeah, you should have just gave it up. Nah, you shouldn't have went. And if you did go, you should have made sure that you had your own, way there and your way back. One time, this woman that liked me wanted to fly me to Florida. As a matter of fact, Daytona Beach. And she was like, oh, I'll pay for it. I'll do this. I'll do that. And I was like, nah, PayPal me the money and I'll get the tickets. And that's exactly what I did. She PayPal'd me the money. I got the tickets and I stayed with her. But the point of the matter was that I had the tickets in my name on my card. You have to really pay attention to stuff like that, because, a person can get mad at you and what? Now you're stranded 5 hours away from home. So be careful in these streets, y'all. Be really careful. And be honest about your expectations. Stop playing around. A lot of people play around. Don't play around. Be honest about your expectations. If I was him, I would have told her that I expected us to be intimate. And is that okay? And if she wasn't cool with it, I'd have left her ass where she was at and got somebody else. So they both wrong this time. And thank God it was just her getting stranded. Thank God she's safe. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I'll be happy to give you an appointment. Likewise, all of my social media information is underneath this video, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff that you might be interested in seeing. All right, guys, come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.